All right, hi everyone. Today we have a massive community special video where myself, my friend Ben, you may know as Cartesian Caramel, and Kris are going to be rating your setups. So basically, I put out a notice on my Discord community asking people to submit images of their work setups and also their Blender startup files so we could rate them based on style, practicality, and organization. And you got creative and submitted quite a few things. So a little bit of pre-notice before we get into it. It is a long video, but you will find a lot of inspiration. There's some really clever stuff that a lot of you have done with your setups, and it's given me some ideas. Also, the screen recording kind of broke while we were doing it, so I had to re-record a bunch of stuff, which is why some things might not sync up completely, but I tried to make it as clean as possible. And finally, there is a very, very minor spoiler for Arcane Season 2 in this video, which I haven't removed, so that's just a bit of pre-warning before we get into it. We did also roast our own setups. We started off by doing that, just to make it fair and to also kind of calibrate our scoring system. And one final note, it was just going to be me and Ben recording, but then Kris happened to be available, so they jumped in at the last minute. I only say that because it will look like we almost forgot to rate Kris's setup, but that's just because there was a last minute change. So without further delay, let's get into it. All right, we're going to be rating the setups and we're going to be doing it on style, practicality, and organization. So style is self-explanatory. Practicality, I think, is functionality in my mind. So if I see like game controllers or graphics tablets, then you're going to get extra points just because that's more functionality. But for organization, that should be self-explanatory because it's like wires and stuff like that. I've never been particularly great for organization. Like, what about either of you?
I like sometimes organize my desk, and otherwise it's kind of a mess.
My desk is usually organized and very minimalist. I don't like seeing wires, and I don't like having excess stuff on my desk.
You know, it's interesting because I think a lot of like the active working people I've spoken to don't really put too much effort into the organization. So I think it'll be interesting to see like what people in the community do. But I'm kind of like getting more on top of it nowadays, like the aesthetics, because having a workplace that feels good, I feel like maybe contributes towards motivation in some way.
Yeah, we'll see. That.
I was going to do it chronologically. So people submitted on our Discord server, and I feel like it would be a good idea, like going top to bottom, so it's fair. But before we jumped into this, Ben asked me whether we could roast mine first. Why was that, Ben?
Basically, to get a range of the different subs, because yours is very professional, a big, nice studio. And then second, we suggested that we do mine next because it's more minimalist. So
Right.
To get a wide range of the setups and styles, I thought this would be a good idea.
All right, so let's jump into it. Mine, I took a few pictures here. It is a work in progress, I will say. I'm a little bit embarrassed with how messy it is. But it's a space that I'm hoping to grow into. I'll give you like a little tour as if we're kind of in there, you know. When you come in through the main door, this is what you see. It's like a kind of like a C-shaped perimeter table, and the main computer is somewhere down here behind all the mess. We've got VR there. Do you recognize what type of VR headset that is?
An HTC Vive.
Yeah, that's it. What would you recommend I upgrade to, like, when I eventually get the funds?
Personally, a Quest 2 is nice, but uncomfortable to wear for more than an hour, but it's convenient.
Yeah.
So maybe a Quest 3, but I'm not up to date on that.
Are you using a Quest 2?
Yes, when I do VR, which is
I've got a
fairly
Quest
rare.
2.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got one, and I don't really like it. It's like too uncomfortable for long periods of time.
Interesting. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, because I don't know what to upgrade to, because the quality on the Vive is kind of mixed, but it was like, you know, one of the first heavy hitters. So.
Yeah.
It's funny how that is more comfortable for long periods, even though it's much heavier.
Yeah. And okay, so here's the next step. They've got the robot arm there. I believe Agniv got me this. Got the microscope back from the eye issues. This is a floppy disk drive from the physical add-ons team from Latvia. At one of the Blender conferences, they handed me this. It's a physical copy of Physical Starlight and Atmosphere, which is really cute.
That's great.
And yeah, so this is from the back of the studio, looking over. This is like the medical corner. That's a Prusa XL 3D printer. And I really, really dislike under the tables all of the plastic boxes because it just looks so inconsistent. So I want to try and like fix that with something. And little personal museum. I'm going to be hopefully taking some of these and sampling them, like photo scanning and then taking material samples. That's kind of why I wanted to work on the Hex Scatter project, Kris. Do you remember me going on about this all the time? Wanting to do like micro imagery of things and then take those image samples and turn them into something procedural.
And I see you have one with your name on it on the bottom there.
Oh, okay. So this is a really cute thing. So this stuff is just like my collection of pretty stones, and I feel like every divergent 3D artist has a collection of pretty stones in somewhere.
Not yet, but I'm interested in it.
Yeah, when I was in primary school, my friend went to Spain, and like they do like these kind of vendor things on the beach, and they just wanted to bring back a souvenir for me. So this is like, hey, how old am I now? It's like 20 years old or something.
Wow.
Yeah. So yes, and then we've got my main workspace. So the what's it called? Secret lab? Yeah, there we go. Chair. Medication.
Not sponsored.
Yep. Lots of medication and supplements and stuff like that because, that's how I roll. Though up in the corner, I just I only found these things like a few days ago. Power armor from Fallout, the Normandy, Mass Effect. These two things are from the Star Wars area in Disney.
I thought that was Coca-Cola.
It actually is. It's Coke and Sprite. It's when you buy it in the Hollywood Studios, like Star Wars area, you get them like that. They're supposed to be like grenades from Star Wars. So yeah, it's quite an interesting thing. Kris, do you recognize this?
Oh yeah, Cade.
Yeah. Lovely Cade. And I've got a Meteor that's like a British jet because I used to play War Thunder a little bit. Pirates of the Caribbean. I think this was from some premiere. It might have been Justice League or something like that. But yes, so that's the setup. Obviously, it's a bit messy. I think in terms of organization, cables, I don't really care that much about organization. It's also probably because everything changes so much that I feel like if I put a lot of effort into hiding cables, it's just going to make it harder for me to change things in the future. Like, do you feel that way about your own things sometimes? Or
yes, yeah. Usually with like the wire ties, those usually work pretty well, but it is annoying to take those out, put a new cable in, and then do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never really settled on it. I mean, I kind of try to hide what's happening over here, but I tell you, these thick cables, they're for the robot arm. They're quite heavy. And obviously, we've been watching Arcane recently. Got to throw in a bit of a reference to that. Such an amazing series.
Is the best.
Yep. We got to protect Echo. Maybe that's a bit of a spoiler. Whoops. Maybe I should put a warning.
You'll blur it out.
I'll blur it out. I'll put a tiny little message at the beginning. Yeah, and this is the last image here. This side computer, which is actually in my background, I'm using this to manage other brands and social accounts and stuff. I kind of ran through my head like how much should I separate physical spaces for work? And like, I tried like having computers in different parts of the room, but when they're too far away, I never want to move to them. So it has to be like close enough. And it's easy to organize different brands through like the Windows user switching. And I don't really want to do it here because I watch and I do everything on here. But yeah, so that's my space. So in terms of the criteria, now we got to rate it. And I feel like I'm not allowed to rate it because I'm biased. Although to be fair...
Should we start with style, practicality, or organization for this one?
In any way you want. Although I will say, in my defense, just to throw it out there, style, I'm probably not that great with. Practicality, I think I probably have through the roof. But organization, probably dead. So what would you think?
I would agree with two of those sentiments. In terms of style, I think just I guess you could call them like personality pieces in the room really enhance that part.
Right.
And the green screen in the background is the perfect accent color. So I would say for style points, I would say a nice 8 out of 10.
Oh,
yeah, I'd actually rank style pretty high as well. I think even though it is like a more professional vibe, it still has style and personality to it. It's very much a you kind of space.
Right. Well, thank you very much. So what would you settle on together if I give this one number for style?
I would say 8.
I think 8's pretty good, yeah.
Okay, nice. Practicality?
Practicality. I think in terms of practicality, like you have your supplements over there, the two computers right there. So that I think that's very practical.
Probably a 10. Like, what can't you do in this room?
Yeah, I would say a 10 as well.
All right, and then lastly, organization, and feel free to not hold back.
I think...
you go first, Kris.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I think in terms of organization, it's not that bad. Like, obviously, there's stuff, cable management, there's a lot of stuff in the room. But, like, you do have, like, kind of spaces dedicated to their own things, and, like, you've got the medical corner and all this. It's, like, I feel like organization with larger spaces that have so much going on can be like difficult, and I think it's like a very different type of organization compared to having like just one desk and one computer, you know.
Hmm.
I do have to dock points for cable management.
Yeah. That's fair.
Probably like a 7 or 8. I don't know. I think it's higher than you'd give yourself credit for, though.
All right, that's fair.
For me, I'm seeing like 2 rooms in one: the top of the desk and the bottoms of the desk. The top of the desk seems like slightly cluttered, but still organized. The bottoms of the desks are not too great, especially in the robot arm category. Like the boxes,
Yeah.
those ones are still organized. That part's fine.
That's fair.
But again, cable management is an issue. So I would say 7 out of 10.
Okay. So
Yeah, if I'm looking more at the bottom half of the room, then I might. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the top half of the room is the strong suit with organization.
So collectively, what are you agreeing on together for this?
Probably a 7.
7?
7, yeah.
Okay, great. Now we spent so long on mine. Let's move on.
Okay.
A single picture for Ben. Defend yourself.
Yes, because that is all that's needed. So I go from a very, I guess, minimalistic, practical standpoint. I just want my default Logitech mouse and keyboard because it's just there. Unfortunately, I don't really care about that part. I just want the keyboard and mouse to be my communication with the computer. I have the microphone, a very nice fine microphone, on a little stand, which is off to the side. Very standard stuff. My stuff is very standard, not flashy. And yeah, both the monitors are 1080p, not 4K. And then I have my computer on top of my desk. It used to be on the bottom, but that is that. Again, very minimalist, very no flair whatsoever, because all the flair is inside the machine. That's where all the creativity lives.
Is this
And
all you
that
use
is
for
my
audio,
excuse.
Ben? Is this all you use for audio?
Yes, that is what I use. I used to have headphones. No, those are $20 Apple USB-C earbuds, which are actually really good.
$20. Wow.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
surprisingly good for the price.
I
Where
can recommend you better $20 earbuds.
Yeah.
this is so funny because like we know Kris, and we know Kris is basically the opposite in terms of like keyboard and stuff with this. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
Well, look, you get the work done. This is what I was saying. Like people that are highly productive, they don't need all this fluff. I don't know what that says about this space behind me, but yeah, it's brilliant. That's all you need. It should
It's
be.
still like
Yeah.
a.
I like
it's
having
still
a
like-
clean physical space and then a very creative and somewhat messy digital space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's still like a productive and functional space, even if it's more, I guess, optimized and geared towards a specific thing rather than like trying to be this like, I guess, versatile space where you can do like a lot of different things in it.
Yeah.
And I will have to say I'm cheating a little bit with the camera angle because behind the desk is some somewhat messy cable management, but it's not that bad.
Right. Okay. So if I was to write down style, practicality, and organization,
Be brutal because it deserves it.
Well-
I'm giving style a 0. I'm sorry.
I'll.
No, I personally agree with that because, like, that's at least in my mind, that's kind of not quite what I was going for, but a result. Zero personality
Ben,
involved.
You have a desktop background.
That's
Yes.
true.
Maybe I'll
You
elevate
get 1 point.
1
Yeah.
point for style.
Yes.
Practicality. Now, when I spoke to Ben before doing this, I said practicality is a weird one because if you think about it in terms of functionality, a lot of people just have a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse. And I said, what should that be? I said, if we consider that to be like a 5, because that's just like middle of the road, what everyone has, and that anything more than that, should add points and anything less should detract. So I see 5 here as standard, maybe a 6 for the microphone, maybe, but I'm not too sure.
There is an optional drawing tablet, but that is not in there, so we can ignore that.
And again, I kind of want to dock that 6 just because of this.
Is it really that bad?
It's not great. You're not going to get like the full range of audio. You need something, especially for someone that works with in these entertainment fields. You need to.
Well, if it does make you feel any better, none of my videos have audio to them when I post on social media.
All right, that's fair.
That's true.
So I'm still thinking around 5 or 6. What do you
Fair
think?
enough.
Kris?
Fair enough.
Yeah. Probably the same. like a maybe a 6 or 7. I think I would honestly give it higher than like a 7 if you had better peripherals. I think in terms of like the sort of like layout of the like it's very simple, but it does what it needs to do, right?
I'll tell you what, I will up to a 7 to agree, just because I didn't mention that you do have a second monitor that not everyone has. So
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
maybe 7.
I'll give it like a 7. Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Organization.
just out of
Yeah.
curiosity, have you ever seen a desk with that kind of divot in the center there for the keyboard and mouse?
A couple times.
Not often. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very nice.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
good. Good ergonomics. So, organization. You said you're hiding cables. I'm sure a lot of people
Yes.
in this video are hiding things.
I can count 4 cables in the background.
Right. I think
Keyboard, mouse, and then probably monitor cables.
it's
and
really
power cable.
clean. I'm already thinking like an 8 or something. 8,
Mhm.
9. I mean, you do have these hanging on the table, but that's fine. There's like no other cables. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's like a 8 or 9, probably a 9, honestly. Like
Yeah, it's clean.
you do have the earbuds on the tables, but you can't really have like a stand for them like you have with headphones. I like throw mine on my desk when I'm not using them.
If
So
you could get like some nice wireless headphones. I mean, I always use wired, but you know, you could get a stand for them,
Mhm.
Ben, put them there. It would look nicer. But we'll say 9.
For
you know?
some reason, I don't like wireless stuff because I have to charge it.
same.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
Again,
annoying.
with my setup, it's very much you plug it in and you just don't have to worry about it.
See, wireless stuff would be so cool if I didn't have to charge it, because the fact that I have to charge it means that I have to plug it in at some point anyway, and then I'm like, well, why unplug it now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not truly wireless, it's partially wired
All right,
Mhm.
half the time.
let's move on because it's gonna take ages to get through all of these.
We got our standards here. We got the low side and the high side.
Do I want to show my setup real quick, because
Yeah,
I'm also
sure.
here.
Yeah, let's do
Here.
that.
Let
Hang
me-
on. I'm trying not to spoil everything, but it is in here.
Well, we can edit the
The
video.
average color ranges are very
There it
cool.
is.
There we go. All right, so we're at Chris's, just to get Chris out of the way then.
Mhm.
So, aesthetics. It's really good, obviously, because we got
Yeah.
like lovely keyboard colors, and you're always very precise with this type of stuff
Mhm.
in terms of visual styling. That's very pretty. I will say,
Yeah.
for me, organization slightly cluttered a little bit, but
A little bit, yeah.
it's for a good reason, though, because it looks pretty. You know,
Would you like to explain some of the parts in it, like the personality
Yes.
items?
So this is an older picture because, like I said, I organize my desk sometimes. But I also have, since this picture, I also have like a drawing tablet, and I've changed out the mouse, so I don't use a wireless mouse anymore. We were just talking about that. But I have a few keyboards, as you can see. I like building keyboards, and it is nice to have them on my desk because I do kind of switch them around. I mostly use the one that you see featured here at the moment, just because it's probably my favorite. But I like switching things up. As for plushies, a lot of my plushies are like gifts from friends. I have more on top of my PC, which is kind of out of frame. But I could throw them on my bed or something. But a lot of them are the kind of thing that like I don't know, I wouldn't like sleep with or anything. So I just like having them in this kind of space that I spend all my time in, and it makes it feel very cozy.
it's nice. And I also see the nail polish.
Yes, the nail polish and
Very
the
good.
eyeliner right behind it, kind of hiding there.
Oh my god! Wait. Oh, like across there.
Yeah.
Cool. And what's up with this keyboard here with all the glyphs?
Oh, yeah. So this keyboard, this was a very fun keyboard to build. I originally wanted to build it because it seemed like a really niche keyboard. It's hard to see here, but instead of arrow keys, it has a joystick, which is very funky.
Oh,
That's interesting.
And because it was such a strange and niche keyboard, it's like a 40% like Alice layout, which basically means you don't even have like a number row. I wanted to go with some like weird funky keycaps as well. So the letters do kind of like imply the English characters still. They just have bits and pieces missing to make them look more interesting.
I
guess,
see.
but-
ASD. Yeah.
Yeah.
QWERTY.
It was a very fun keyboard to build, and I still like using it. It's like I didn't actually. This keyboard is what made me like fall in love with 40% keyboards, because I didn't expect to use it that much, and I use it a lot, and I really enjoy it. It's a very comfortable layout, and yeah,
Wonderful.
I like
And do I recognize? Is that Hollow Knight down there?
it. Yes. So this was actually my first ever soldering project. It's a 30% keyboard, and this is where it gets a little bit too small for me. I use it sometimes, but not as often as the other two. But this was actually an open source keyboard, so you just get PCBs manufactured, you buy the microcontrollers, you buy your switches, and you solder everything together. And because it was open source, I customized the silk screen on the PCB, so It's a little hard to tell in the photo, but it has a little gold outline from the like copper layer, and then the other half of this keyboard has the shade from Hollow Knight.
Ah, nice.
Very nice.
So, yeah, thinking about the ranking, let's just do a style, practicality, and organization. It's a tricky one because I kind of want to feel biased because we like you. And we'll probably be a lot harsher with other people.
I will say, the mousepad is like just a cheap Amazon mousepad I got. I need to get a better one still. It scuffs easily and it has some like deformation, I guess. You can see kind of at the top there and at the bottom. It's yeah.
Mousepads, yeah, I should get one of those.
Oh, yeah, you don't have one, do you?
Yep, you can't knock the points off. We already went through that.
Yeah, okay.
Dang.
Style.
In terms of style, I would say this ranks fairly high. Like, you've got a lot of personality items. The nail polish is a huge plus because it's very complementary colors, very organized and all that.
Yeah.
And then you have 1-1, which is an automatic +1. And then the Monster Energy drinks, the Gunpla. And then, I would say style is fairly high just because of the amount of personality that you can see in this. And then the Hollow Knight keyboard is an extra plus. So I would say an 8 or 9 out of 10.
I would agree. I'd say 8. I feel like there's probably more that can be done around it. You know, like it's a lot of stuff that's been put there that looks nice. But I have no doubt that if you tried, you could like, blow
Nowadays,
everyone
I
away.
actually do have some paintings like above my desk, but you can rank it based on this image.
The only reason it's not a 9 is due to the scuff on the mouse pad.
Yeah, that's fair.
In terms of practicality, now we've got several keyboards, but they're all just keyboards, at the end of the day. So there's not like a lot of extra equipment going on. So it is more than 5, I would say, because you've got, extra types of keyboards and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe 6 or 7, something like that. What do you think?
It's a 1 monitor setup with a keyboard and a mouse. We're not seeing the audio equipment, so we can't judge it based off that. So I would say, in terms of practicality, since it's a 1 monitor setup, I am a bit biased in that regard. I would say 7. I would say 7.
Okay, go for 7.
Because there are multiple keyboards that you can swap out when you're feeling like you want a different style.
Yeah.
But it is, again, keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using keyboards a lot, then it's highly practical for you. Like, that's part of it, right?
Like, I assume you switch between coding and Blender stuff, and each one has its benefit.
Honestly, like, I'm fine using any of these keyboards for like coding or Blender stuff. Although I think like for coding, I do like 40% more than like I would use a 40% for Blender. But for the most part, I just do whatever I guess the vibes justify.
Okay.
So organization, it is clean. It's a little bit scuffy, but we don't see many cables. It is also quite a small space.
Yes. I use the keyboard in the back there to hide some cable management with the monitor.
I see.
And just like on the top of my desk.
So
same with the plushies.
Do we count what we can't see?
Maybe, because if we're admitting to it, then now we know.
If there's an effort to hide cables through other means, then
I suppose that is organization in some way. The cable management is just hiding cables, isn't it? Really.
In terms of organization, like the wireless keyboard and mouse look very, very nice. And then with the spiral cable for the secondary keyboard in the back is nice. The way the nail polish is lined up is very nice and organized. The plushies are a little bit cluttered, but I'd say that's fine. And
I'm feeling quite neutral about it, though. I was thinking like 5, just because I do think it feels a little bit cluttered with, the empty monster can just sitting there.
Is that a personality item or just an item that you... Okay. Given that it's a personality item and not something that was just left there, I'll say it's part of the set dressing.
See, I do a good job at getting empty cans and stuff off my desk, but I had it on my desk because I was drinking it when I took this picture, and I was like, can you tell this is the desk of a trans girl? I've got the plushies and Monster Energy and Gunpla and all that.
Yeah. So what we're saying, Ben, I'm still thinking 5, and if I'm feeling generous, 6. But
I would say 7 simply because the Monster Energy drink is not a permanent fixture.
Should we split the diff and go 6.5?
Sure. Are we doing half numbers?
We can do now.
Okay.
All right. It doesn't really matter.
A very nice setup, fairly clean, just with Monster Energy drink.
I want to see what you can do when you put your mind to it, Kris. Like, with
yeah.
with aesthetically designing a space in the future. But
I feel
God
like we
knew-
got a very good range to judge the other setups.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to Slinc.
God knew I'd be too powerful if I had a larger desk.
Yes, exactly. All right,
Alright.
Slinc from the Discord server. He's been around for a while. Let's roast him. Slinc image
Alright,
quality.
so we got a drawing tablet with a screen and a monitor. So that this technically counts as a 2-monitor setup, which is very nice.
Yeah, looks like he's got Discord here. And is this my? Yeah, I believe that's my Discord server. I think that's my icon. So well
You're
done.
not allowed to give bonus points for that, Curtis.
Damn. I believe this is actually Slink's dog. Because I've seen
cute.
pictures of his dog and it's got this interesting difference in the eye style. So yeah. Oh yeah, hold on, that's kind of like I'm doing cute. Okay. No, so that's really sweet. So okay, why is there a panel missing from the side of the computer?
Yeah, I was gonna
Is
say.
that a style? Is that a choice, or is that like a broken glass situation?
How much of a difference does it really make to thermals?
It depends on the case. Some cases can be kind of hot boxes, but if you've got a case with good airflow, then they kind of take the glass panel into consideration.
Fine. I to be honest, I do kind of like seeing the internals. There's something nice about that. But yeah, maybe it's not so practical. I don't really know. But there are other elements in here. We've got webcam, headset, we've got 2 controllers there. You mentioned the graphics tablet. So there is pretty good practicality, I would say. Not so much style though, maybe. I mean, I like the emoji
The
pins.
smiley, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Those add style points.
Yeah.
I will say that one cable coming from the drawing tablet to the mouse pad is
This one
hurting
here.
hurting the cable management
Are
part
those
of me.
headphone cables though? Like if you're
Are they?
putting the headphones on, then maybe that's not like a huge deal. I can't tell though.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, where does that go? Is it just underneath?
It looks
or is
like
on
it
the
goes
top?
into the keyboard.
It looks like
Oh.
maybe the headphone cables are underneath the keyboard in this picture or something. I don't know.
Problem is,
Yeah.
this is a really low quality picture. So yeah, thanks, Link.
Compression.
Yeah, and we've got some extra random bits up here. Is that the White House?
Is that the United States? It is, I think. Yeah.
Anyway, so what are we thinking for style, practicality, and organization?
In terms of style, like the personality parts, there are some with the emoji faces and the U.S. Capitol and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's fine to count that as a personality point.
Not as
But
low
yeah.
as Ben's, but I think it's still a bit low in terms of
Yeah,
What
I guess-
what was Ben's? Let's check that. What?
mine was through the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Ben got a 1.
yeah. I'm thinking 3.
I'd
Yeah,
say
I think it is.
the dog does add to it, even though it's not a permanent picture. It does
Yeah.
add to it. So I would say a 4. Again, personality, like the expressiveness of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Perhaps a
would say around a
3.5.
4.
Okay.
And there are
I'll agree.
gaming things, so that describes I'm a gamer, so that is something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Is that Blender Nest as well, or is that something else? Anyway, so practicality, we're going to go kind of higher than the midpoint. So 5 was the midpoint. We've got quite a few things around. I'm thinking 6, 7, 8 maybe. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
practicality. I would say an 8 on this one because
Probably
using
like
the
a
drawing
7.
tablet with the screen as a second monitor is very.
Chris is saying
very
7.
Nice.
You're saying 8. I'm thinking 8. But
I do like using the drawing tablet and the drawing tablet as like a second monitor when you're not like using it as a drawing tablet. That's a nice touch. But
should we
Yeah.
go 7.5 then? Or
I'd say that's fair.
okay.
Yeah.
Now organization. There aren't many cables.
Yes.
It is.
There aren't many cables, but that one is slightly annoying me.
Yeah, it is weird having because like if I'm sitting up at the computer, that's just going to be in between my legs. Like,
If it's connected to the headphones, then that's excusable because it's part of that.
Yeah.
But we can't tell because of image compression. So I
Schrodinger's
won't.
ranking.
Yeah,
yeah,
I won't count against that. That's the keyboard cable, which it seems to be good.
yeah. So I don't know. What are you thinking? Bit of a weird one because I feel like we're still
I'd
kind of
say-
setting a base for this. You got
Yeah,
a 9 for organization because it was pretty clean. I feel like this is less clean. So
I would say
6,
7 or an 8.
7, 8. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
a
like the
7.
bottom of the desk is very nice and clean, which
Yeah, there's
I'll
not
give
an
it an 8.
excessive. Yeah, it could be much worse under here. like with all those ports and stuff. It could be all over the place.
Like you look at that and like they included it in the photo, which is points for that as well.
Yeah. 7.5.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You're good. You're pretty standard, Slinc. You were nuanced. Yeah, we had a difficult time trying to mark that. Oh, hello. This is a good one. The guy with the bagels. So I added some of the text on some of these that they had put in the Discord server. So they say, I recently upgraded a few months ago, rocking a 4070 Ti Super and a Ryzen 7900X with 64 gigabytes of DDR5. Blender is working smoother than ever. I'm not a freak for aesthetics, but I kind of like the vibe I got going. So do I. What do you think?
I did too. Yeah.
The
I think
lighting is
style
on
is pretty
point.
high.
Very good. And I like these are pretty complementary colors as well. We got like a cyany, turquoisey, slightly greeny desktop background compared to the red.
Yeah, I was going to say, same with the second photo. You've got kind of like the blues and greens with the red lighting kind of complementing it.
I feel like that's definitely intentional. Has to be.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good.
Yeah, the custom keyboard is nice too. I will dock points for the mouse pad.
Harley Davidson. I don't know if I've ever seen a Harley Davidson mousepad. No shame, but well, maybe Kris is giving you shame.
It's maybe a little tacky. I at least in the context of like the rest of the setup, which is pretty clean.
But we don't. I suppose. Go ahead.
It's a personality point, but it does clash with the clean tech aesthetic.
We don't know the context. Maybe they work for Harley Davidson.
That's true.
Maybe
it's a personality point, so we can put that towards style. But yeah, styling I would say is very, very high on this one. I would put it a 9. Like the lighting alone is great.
Do you think this is a rain meter setup or something similar? Because I'm noticing a few things. First of all, we've got like the sound bars there.
Yeah,
and the
rain meter
time.
probably.
And the desktop is also
it is Windows.
Yeah, it's an invisible taskbar. While the
I like Rainmeter setups. I used to use Rainmeter before I just switched to Linux for like everything. But
yeah, I like that. Is this a soundbar, by the way? This thing?
I would think so.
Whatever it is, it looks pretty and it fits in.
It does.
And they've moved it around in the second picture there.
It brings some of the red lighting from the PC to other places in the setup, which is very nice. I like that a lot.
2 controllers, very nice.
Yeah, that's good for practicality. Are they the same? I mean, the stick layout is, again, diagonal on both, so they both look like Xbox ones, but I don't recognize the charging indicators there. Are they Xbox or are they imitation Xbox? Because I don't recognize.
Maybe they're
the
Logitech?
They might be. Yeah, that's true, actually, because I don't recognize the style, because I've got like Xbox One type controller there. It's similar, but it's not the same, so maybe it is. Yeah, I feel like in terms of organization, better in the first image than the second, but I feel like they've displayed these things here because realistically, who has their controllers like sitting opposite sides? Like,
yeah.
But
not a permanent fixture.
Style points, though, I'm already thinking 9 or 10 just because of how cohesive it is.
I agree.
Very high.
What do you think in number-wise?
9.5?
I'll go like, like personally, I'd say it's like a 9. I think the mouse pad, I would personally dock points for that. But that's obviously.
Okay, hold on.
That's an opinion.
2.5.
The mat. Again, we don't entirely know the theme.
Yeah, I would like some context behind that. Let us know why it's a Harley Davidson one.
I'm curious.
Practicality. Okay, we got an extra monitor. We got a soundbar, possibly. We've got 2 controllers there. I don't know. What do you think? 6, 7
I'd
again?
say,
Maybe 7, 8, 7, 8.
Yeah, like the soundbar versus headphones. Like maybe that would dock a point, but I'd say that's fine. In terms of practicality, again, maybe I'm not the best person to talk about this because it's just keyboard, mouse, soundbar, 2 monitors. 2 monitors is a plus. So I would say that's very practical.
Yeah.
Number-wise?
I would say an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say an 8.
I'll go for it. And organization, I am seeing some loose cables that look like they've been tucked away or pushed behind the computer there.
A little bit of spaghetti. Yeah.
A little bit of spaghetti, but it's hidden quite well.
And it's otherwise very clean. So
Yeah. I would say a 7.
I'd say a 7 is
Yeah.
good.
I feel like there's probably some creative hiding going on. And the reason I say that is because we can't see below the desk. And when we do see below the desk here, it's so dark that we can't really interpret it. So points for good image taking. So next up we got Gene. Oh, Gene literally just said, I tried. So this is it.
Yes, the Patrick mousepad is a statement.
It really is.
Whether it's adding or subtracting to the style based on my preferences is still to be decided.
I really
Same
appreciate
here.
it. I think if you're gonna do it, then go full on. Like
Yes, it is a statement. So
is.
I guess for style or personality points, that it goes up. It goes up based on that.
We've got some practicality. So we've got a tablet there. Ooh, do you know what this is?
Maybe like a charging brick.
Yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
Hard to know. It's got like a kind of heat sinky shape to it, but I know it's not that.
I wonder if it's
but-
like an external NVMe storage or something weird.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense.
We've got.
Uh,
Hold on. Is this? Okay, I'm not an Apple fanboy. Is this one of the? Is this a computer? Is what I'm
that,
asking.
yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
And then the headphones, and that's a kind of tablet
That's a
there, a
Kindle.
drawing tablet
I'm
on the
proud.
other side.
Yeah, that is a Kindle, isn't it? I think because it's got the paper type screen to it,
Probably.
and these are Sennheisers, which are pretty good.
Yeah, love
Um,
Sennheisers.
love the style of the
And
keyboard.
then I'm not entirely sure what is that a monitor stand with the power button on it?
Oh, this
Yes.
I don't know.
It looks like a monitor stand, but maybe it's old.
I wonder if it's some kind of lamp or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
Yeah.
interesting. So we're a bit confused with this one.
Yeah.
It's not consistent style wise. We got like a really
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
style element, and then everything else is very plain.
Mhm.
Although the keyboard, I do like the keyboard, but still very
Dude,
like
yeah.
grayscale.
Yeah.
If
I will say
am-
for style, it does the keyboard clashes with the mouse pad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I may put this one at a 4,
I
unfortunately.
might be
was
harsh.
thinking for.
might be harsh, but I was gonna say like a 2. I don't know. I feel like if you remove the mouse pad and keyboard, right, in terms of style, it's like pretty comparable to Ben's in terms of like
Mhm.
just not really having anything going on. And while I do think like the keyboard and mouse pad could add something, I don't think that they like strictly add to it. I feel like there is some stuff clashing, and yeah, I don't know.
So we were thinking 4.
I
You're thinking
would like
3.
that keyboard.
I was thinking
Yeah.
like a 2.
Oh,
So maybe
2.
if we're like averaging it out, like
So we'll average to a 3.
a 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So practicality, like, we do have practical elements. So
Yes, drawing tablet, external drive, headphones, the Kindle, one monitor. So
one monitor. I'm
yeah.
thinking 5 or 6 then. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think a 5
Yeah.
or 6 is good. Maybe like a 6. They've got like a drawing tablet and Kindle. there
Yeah,
and
I'll give
stuff
them
like that.
good points for that.
Yeah.
Organization.
Organization. With the mouse is tucked in behind the monitor, which I assume that's not a permanent thing. Cable management is a little bit iffy. So I think I would give this one a 6.
Okay.
Or 6 or a 7, because it is a wireless keyboard, and then the monitor, you're not seeing any of those cables either.
Right. I was thinking more of like a 5, but this is interesting because this is the first time we're
Yeah.
doing this. So we're calibrating our scoring as we're doing
Yes.
it. Like by
They-
the,
these scores
yeah.
are warping over time,
They're
so please do
warping.
not take this personally.
It's all for fun.
I think my takeaway from this is that we need style and personality to be separate tiers.
yeah. Maybe we'll do that. We'll keep that in mind. We'll do it the next time. Okay, 5 or 6. 6, 7.
Yeah,
5,
6 sounds right.
6. Let's go 6.
6, sure, yeah.
White Rooster Productions. This one is pretty cool. All right. I didn't have a proper
Mhm.
detailed look at it, but I'll read this first. So they do a lot of Star Trek fan art in the server. Not sure if this is allowed, but I have multiple workstation setups. 4 PCs each with their own purpose, plus a PC, which is a dedicated network assisted storage, not shown in the photos. The desks are custom built too. I usually stand while I work. There are
Points for that.
build videos on his channel as well. So I might try and link that in. So they've actually given us 3 pictures here, and I'm pretty sure they're all different setups. So here, number 1, we'll have a look before I move on. Very nice.
Very, very nice.
Number 2 here.
I think these may be the highest scored in terms of organization.
Yeah. And number 3 here.
Yeah. I will say, first of all, I absolutely love ITX builds. ITX builds are great. I love small form factor PCs. So you've got like a bunch of those going on here. So
It does look very aesthetically pleasing. I like
yeah.
It does. Okay, so on image 1, like the lighting is on point. You got the slanted roof, which helps accentuate that quite a bit. You got the Star Wars droid over there. You have the curved monitor with the soundbar right underneath it.
Yep.
And then the keyboard, a mouse pad, which would be nice to have. I need to remind myself of that. And then 2 pictures on the side, a baby Groot on top of the PC, and I'm assuming that's external storage right next to the PC.
Yeah.
Or a power supply. I forget.
Something
See, it's
like
got like personality to it, but it's also got a pretty like coherent style.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like even though there's like some like the Lego set and like the Groot and stuff, like doesn't like clash or anything. So
Yeah.
I
And
think this
points
would
for
be
having
pretty
the
high in
droid
style.
on the desk and on the monitor at the same time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cute.
that's fine.
So I think I would give this one a 9 or a 10 on the style points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If we're going to rank them all together, I mean, it's pretty consistent. Like,
Yeah,
style-wise.
very consistent elements.
it's like they've kept the same kind of rules going. And they seem to demonstrate different degrees of practicality each, as if they've got different purposes. You know, I'm kind of looking at extra peripherals on the second one here. And, oh yes, the most practical thing. Sugar-free, I actually don't know what that is. Sugar-free what? Is that an energy drink or a beer? I have no idea.
I am not sure.
But we got webcam, laptop there. Yeah, there's not, I mean, they're all pretty similar,
Yeah.
you know, which I suppose is
think-
good.
I think I'll give it like an 8 or a 9 for style. I was gonna go with a 9, but like also I feel like the some things do clash slightly, not like as much as we've seen. But yeah, I feel like I guess I feel like at times like the wallpapers don't necessarily mesh well with the setup, specifically in like 3.
Hmm.
And same with like the mouse pad and 1 and 3 are both a bit like I don't know, like there is a little bit of clashing, I think.
I didn't even notice that.
I had fun once. It was awful. Is that the grumpy cat?
Is that
meme?
Yes, that's the grumpy cat.
Right?
Extra style point for that. I'm giving this one a 10.
There is something as well. We got kind of inconsistency in the peripherals, which is fine, right? But I just think it's interesting that you're having Logitech for one thing and then Republic of Gamers for the next thing.
Logitech is a very respectable company.
All right.
Yeah. I also feel like in terms of peripherals, it's like pretty basic, you know? Like, I'm obviously biased because I like my custom keyboards and things, but I'd probably give it like a I could go up to a 9 in style, but like an 8 or a 9.
Okay. Ben, what's your number for style? What are you thinking?
I would say a 10.
We'll put it at 9
Just
then.
because it's three separate setups that all have consistent styling between them, or similar styling.
Yeah, given that there are 3 being shown here, it's quite impressive how unified it is between all
And they're
of them.
not all the same products.
Yeah.
They're different ones. I think only the soundbar is the same between all 3.
Yeah, it's interesting how the desk is different every time as well. This is a proper standing desk from the look of it. This
Custom
looks like
built.
Yeah, this looks like a static one. And this looks like probably a standing one, but can't be sure. All right, so practicality. Again, we've got slightly different functional pieces in every one.
Yeah.
So they
one monitor
thought about
setups in each one, but they are rather big and wide, so that may even out.
I'm thinking 8 and maybe 9, and the reason why I'd go that high is because they've clearly thought about it.
Yeah,
a lot.
I was gonna say like pretty high, like a 9. For me, it's like a 9 or a 10. I think that
because if we don't judge them individually, and you imagine that this is their home and they've got all of these around them, like in my studio, if you imagine these 3 setups like in a ring, that's really high practicality. So I would say 9 or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, organization.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it is
Really
good.
Headset stand right there.
I mean, a stand for the controller. That's
I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, they've done a really good job
And
with
then
that.
cable management is very, very good.
I'm
You
thinking
can just barely see them in the photos.
just barely. Can't even see it here. I'm thinking 9 or 10. I mean,
Yeah.
what would you do to get better than this for a 10 if it was a 9, you know? It's only very slight.
Yeah, I would say
Barely
that's
see.
a solid 9.
I'm going to go for a 9.5, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, like, what can they do to get a 10? I would have to see, like, nothing. Absolutely nothing, which seems impossible.
The cable's embedded into the desk.
Yeah, I suppose organization is more than just cables, right? They've clearly put, I mean, you complimented them earlier on having like the droid there as well, because they've clearly preserved enough space to have that make sense, which is a difficult thing to do because as soon as you put one thing on the desk, everything goes on the desk.
And also having one of your own renders as your desktop background, that's also really good.
It's very difficult to preserve desk space coherently.
And this is why we did ours first.
Yeah. Well done. That's a very high scoring one.
Very well done.
Yeah.
All right, Spencer Magnusson. Spencer is
Okay.
lovely. They also did a talk at the Blender conference recently, and I had them as a casual sponsor on this channel as well. So thank you for the support, Spencer. And they're an active member on our Discord server. So simple, but
Yeah.
nice.
I really like the kind of like walnut wooden looking desk with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that adds a lot to it.
Yeah, I like a bit of walnut. This seems like a special type of controller as well. Is that like kind of white embedded there and the bumpers? It's interesting. I don't get to see this type of mouse often, the slightly side profile ones.
Yes,
That's
those are good if
interesting.
you have carpal tunnel.
Yeah, so they thought about that, which is great. Oh, these chairs are probably quite expensive. Have you ever looked at like the price of ergonomic design chairs like this? They're crazy.
I don't think so.
They seem ridiculously overpriced, but obviously it makes a big difference to your back. I quite like that chair.
I like the monitor with only Blender and the recycle bin in the background.
That's all you need. And it's curved as well.
And it's curved.
Nice wide profile. Seems like an ultra wide resolution.
Again, one monitor, but it's nice and long, so that probably makes up for that.
I mean, this is like fabric on the wall here. I'm not sure if that's for reducing bounce from the audio. It is quite thin, though. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but I feel like that might be what it's for.
Yeah.
Points for practicality in that sense.
Yeah. One single USB stick or a Bluetooth receiver.
It's like a dongle.
Yeah. So
in terms of style, I would say there's not many personality points in this one. Not much to grab onto. Kind of like mine.
It's not that different from yours, and yours is a 1. So I don't know.
Yeah.
2?
I do think the wooden desk is a bit nicer. I'd go up to
It is a bit nicer, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say a 3.
Oh,
and you
and
got the very nice chair.
They have a colored mouse mat, which Ben
There
doesn't
is a
have.
blue mouse pad, yeah.
Yes, a mouse pad. Yep.
Thinking free.
And also
Yeah,
a very
very
nice
good.
monitor stand. I haven't seen one like that before.
Yeah, I do like that. Very cool. Practicality, it's got a bit more than you going as well. We got a proper headset, Ben. We got we got a controller.
I'll
What were you
need to
gonna say?
defend that off video.
Got a
Yeah, okay.
nicer, They've got like a very like ergonomic mouse and stuff as well.
Yes,
I'd say
that
that was good.
extremely practical.
Is that Asus keyboard?
More
Yes.
importantly, is that a membrane keyboard?
I didn't even know.
I'm
I
glad-
mean, I know Asus. I didn't know they did like dedicated keyboards like that you can just grab. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I will give
I
practicality.
would give
point.
this one. I would give this one a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, what did we do for you again? 7.
I
We were
forget.
generous.
Yeah, looking back, we were maybe a little.
We were
generous.
very generous.
The number is locked in. You can't change it now.
All right, we'll give him an 8. Thinking an 8, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds good.
Organization. I mean, let me just draw the cables here. Like
Organization is like a 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit all over the place there. I'm thinking, 2.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2.5. Lonnon. Oh, okay. Lonnon is a patron. Can we have a round of
See.
applause for Lonnon?
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution to the Blender community.
Thank you for funding my medical consultations. And yes, nice. There we go. Lonnon, we love you. Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
so first of all, we got a cat right center stage.
Oh, beautiful. 10 out of 10. Let me just rub the beans. I mean, the beans are on the other side, but let me just give it a little rub. Okay. There's a
one
lot.
monitor ultra wide setup, the camera, the mechanical keyboard. I'm assuming lots of pliers and wires.
So I get the feeling that
Yeah.
Lonnon is very hands-on.
Mhm.
There's so much to unpack here. I don't know if we
Yeah.
can analyze it. Is that something Gundam?
Yeah.
Like a mini one?
They make like little silly like model kits with like goofy proportions as well. I forget what they're called, but I haven't built one, but I know they make those.
And there's a
Interesting.
thermometer as well. Wow, this is going high in terms of personality points because there's a lot.
There's a lot going on here, but it's also like it's
Still fairly organized as
very
well,
personal
which is
space. It feels very
impressive.
cozy too. I like the if you look at this like wooden sort of like these wooden not drawers, but like I guess shelves,
Shelves, yeah.
over to the left. There are like lights and stuff in there to kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
which is like a really nice touch, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't even think about that. It just fit in like naturally.
yeah, it does.
I'd give this one
Like-
like an 8 or a 9. Like the cat is of course a plus.
Yeah.
And then the nice light in the background there. Nice box light.
Yeah, that is
Very
interesting.
nice.
Probably go an 8 in terms of like style.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
thinking
because of
around the same
my-
thing.
I think because of my personal biases, I do have to dock points for like a more normal looking keyboard.
I do. It has a workshop style to it. I'm pretty sure my mum's
Yeah.
got this exact chair, which is interesting.
Yeah.
There is a bit
Curtis,
of
could you read the text? Yeah.
love me, love my mess. Nothing really noticeable in the Blender startup. That's the startup file we've got on the screen here. Oh yeah, we've got the second picture we can look at. But the keyboard shortcuts and interface customizations will quickly let you know that you're not in Kansas anymore. So they haven't changed it visually, but they have changed it practically. So that's giving us... Actually, that really kind of ties into what we're seeing here. This is someone that's very hands-on, practical, likes doing workshop-y type things, electronics, from the looks of it.
It's interesting seeing like all the environments that different Blender users inhabit, because you get to see the range of people who use Blender.
Yeah. So I'm going to go slightly lower on style, but higher on practicality, if that makes sense. The only reason I'll go a bit lower on style is just because it is inconsistent styling. Even with things like the lights being different and they don't match the keyboard at all, which doesn't really fit in with the rest of everything else. But it is great. But for comparison, what are we looking at? Because we've got some really aesthetic ones. For really basic ones, we've got 3 and 1 for Ben. Sorry to rub it in, Ben. Every time. This is something new. We haven't seen something workshop-y yet.
Yeah.
What are we thinking for style?
I would give this one an 8.
Really? What are you thinking,
like
Chris?
a 6 or 7.
Cat.
It's got a style to it, but it's also I guess here more. It's kind of function over style, which kind of does have its own style to it, but it's also
yeah.
I don't know if I'd
I
go
suppose.
points all out on style,
I suppose that's similar to this.
Yeah, it's similar to yours.
Yeah. So we'll go 7.5 or something like that.
It's got a distinct style as a result of, I guess,
The-
prioritizing functionality over style.
You can tell the personality through the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practicality, I think we have to go high in some
Yes.
way.
If you need something, it's always within arm's reach.
Yeah, and they're also unusual things. Is that a magnifying glass back there? We've got a Blue Yeti. We've got, God knows what that is. That's a preamp or something like that there. Gas mask, what the flip? Or a filtration mask?
Yes, that's for when you're sanding and stuff.
Yeah, don't know what that is. We've got stuff all over the place. So for the practicality of them...
I'd honestly give it a 10. Kind of, or a 9 or 10. It's almost it reminds me a lot of your space in a lot of ways, Curtis, where it's kind of just this... everything that you do, you kind of want to make accessible in the space,
Yeah, everything everywhere all at once.
Yep. Yeah, I would give this a 10.
All right, that's interesting.
What did we rank yours in practicality, Curtis? I forgot. That was
10,
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
that's interesting then, because I forgot what we gave us. So that's actually quite consistent then.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Well done, Lonnon. We're making a gang of practical setups. Organization, though. Now,
I'm really mixed on this because, on one hand, in this left image, they've got a lot of stuff that's really well organized and things like
Yeah.
that. But they've also got a lot of stuff that isn't. It's not it's kind of like Schrodinger's organization in a way. You've got your very organized and not organized elements of this.
interestingly, again, that is just like me, but we're saying above the desk and below the desk are two different
what
worlds.
did we rank yours in organization?
We got
I already forgot.
7, which was a
7.
compromise.
Yeah.
Do we
I think
feel
that
like-
one was because of the disparity between the top and bottom desk. Well, with this one, it's fairly even all around.
Yeah. What are we thinking then? This is a bit of a mixed one.
I would say maybe a 5 because you got the cables right where the microphone is in
Right.
that little space there. So you're seeing cables constantly.
Yeah,
And then
if it was just those cables, it would be a 2 or something. But
I do
feel
like
it's
the-
redeemed a bit by the stuff in the left image.
I do like where the pliers are, how that's a nice square where all those are kept. And
Yeah.
then the cups where all the parts are in as well, or the cylinders. So that is nice.
So what did you say? 6, 7? What did you say before?
I think I said a 5. I forget what Chris
5,
said.
okay.
I'd go a 6 or probably a 6, yeah.
Should we go 5.5?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well done, Lonnon. That was actually pretty good. All things
Yeah.
Yeah,
considered.
very, very interesting.
Yeah. I'll be interested in knowing what you're using all this stuff for. Oh, I've got one of these as well. A little temperature humidity monitor, I'm pretty sure. I've got one on my desk. Very
Again,
cool.
points for practicality.
Yeah. Okay. P3F1. So we got 2 images for them here. So
The
we're going to zoom
bloom.
in. Is that film grain as well? That's been added on top afterwards.
I think that might be like actual film grain, Curtis, from the camera sensor.
Well, because it is like a very dimly lit
It is.
like setting, I guess.
It's very wide camera as well. I mean, I love it. It looks fantastic. Startup
Yeah.
only have removed tabs, so they're just talking about the startup that I didn't barely use, and a slight change in the shading and geometry node tab. Other than that, it's essentially default. Okay. So visually, very
Style
good.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, style is looking amazing.
This is the Japanesey artwork of the water splash, the wave thing. I'm not too sure what it's called.
You got a Rubik's Cube. You got some piano keys over there on the far left.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's very dark there. So that's like a MIDI keyboard. Yeah, we got
And
a camera.
then-
Oh, yes.
yeah,
So
camera.
this person is clearly probably very interested in like photography. Maybe a bit hobbyist about it as well. Is this like kind of AirPod type case thing? I can't quite tell.
Yes, that's an AirPod case.
We
A
got
few
like
cars on top of
few
the speakers.
So
Yeah,
there's
this is
personality
nice.
coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a 7 or 8. And maybe like
And
a
you got the
7 on
nice-
style.
the nice orange light from the light, and then the blue from the fans. A perfect amount of bloom.
Do you know
which is
this?
very
This
nice.
light also gives me a Japanesey vibe for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe I've seen it somewhere. I feel like I'm getting that vibe coming through. Yeah, this is the other one.
Ooh, the lights on the keyboard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
fun.
Nice.
that is pretty. It's a very pretty one. It's a cozy one. It's the kind of like, is that a little fridge? Like it's probably not an actual fridge. It looks like they've got like
Extra mini
pens.
fridge.
But that's really cute.
Yeah, it could hold 1 ice cube, and that's it. Yep.
This seems like the kind of place I would love to be in the evenings, you know? It's got
I
that
think-
mood to it.
I think I'd give more points if the keyboard's lighting matched the PC's lighting. But
Right. I mean, it's kind of close on the
on the keycaps.
keycaps, but
I would give this a 9. Like, we haven't talked too much about this differences in startup files because they're mostly, from what we've seen, very similar to the regular one, just with a few edits.
yeah.
But all that works very well.
I would also say quite high for style. We can tell that they've put a lot of personality in it. They've made it theirs. I really like this mouse as well, by the way. I don't know which one that is, but I like the logo.
Is it like Cooler Master or something? I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that shape. But is that a
Yeah.
PlayStation controller with the kind of flat surface?
Maybe.
there?
Or, yeah, I don't recognize that.
All right, okay. So for style, we were thinking 9. Chris, did you have an opinion?
Probably like an 8. I feel like there are some nice personality pieces, but generally it's kind of like an inoffensive, like, you know, you've got like a white PC with like a whitish, like cool white lighting
Yeah.
and like an RGB keyboard and stuff.
I will say maybe it is a bit let down by the left side in the way that we've got a lot of attention that's been put into the right and the center. But over here, I don't know what's going on here. It feels very dark. Like this is like the dumping space for things on the table. So if there was more consistency kind of going on here, then maybe that would push it up. So maybe a compromise somewhere, 8.5, 8.25.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
What do you think? 2.5 or 5? Very small difference.
5.
Okay, we'll do 5. Practicality. Again, there's no second monitor, but we do have speakers, we got a controller, we got an extra desk fan, we got mouse pad, MIDI keyboard.
I would say it ranks fairly high. The only thing I can dock is having 1 monitor.
They get some points for like the keyboard. That's always a nice touch.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 7.5 to 8.
Yeah, that sounds good.
7.5.
Yeah.
Organization is pretty good, but again, if we can't see anything under the table,
I can see 2 wires.
The left
underneath.
side is a bit cluttered.
it is cluttered. Yeah, and it's kind of dark. so we
Monitor
can't really
cables
see
are
it.
good. I would get maybe a 7, 6 or 7.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a 7, I'd say.
We'll go for 7. So it's a pretty good one all around. There are just like some areas where maybe it could be a bit more impactful, but personality does come through. Okay. So they say some bits of this are in a good need of a dusting, but I at least take care of my hardware, just not so much my desk. Haha. My main machine is the horizontal one. It's a rack-mounted chassis that I prefer over traditional towers. Threadripper 7980X, RTX 4090, 384 gigabytes. DDR5. Is that, there's not a
Whoa.
typo, is that? Jesus. And there's tower specs as well, with also 192 gigabytes.
Maybe in the future we should rank like our PC's power.
Yeah.
I would also rank low in that regard as well.
Alrighty. Well, where do we begin? It's a mess. Like
Yeah.
in some regards. And these are like those hand clenchy things. whatever you call them here
Is
on
that
the desk.
circular Rubik's Cube?
It might
Yeah,
be.
there's a circular and a regular Rubik's Cube. You got the mic stand, the headphones right there, a camera, cup holder on the desk. That's
Cup holder,
first.
yeah.
2 different, oh my god, yeah, what the hell? 2 different types of keyboard and a suspiciously clean pencil in amongst the dirty rubble. Random piece of paper. God knows what that is. I love the honesty in this one, actually. I'll tell you that. If we can give we should give points for honesty in the future, because you can tell when people are like, taking stuff out of frame. But this is a very honest photo.
Then the PC on its side in the background, and then I'm assuming that's storage right next to it. A bigger PC next to that as well.
We got like an amp down here, I think.
Yeah.
And, all sorts of stuff
Very
thrown around.
nice.
There's a camera case, guitar.
Nice comfy chair. I've sat in a chair like that in the past, and those are comfortable.
Yeah, interesting. Style-wise, there's not much style going on.
Yeah, like it feels wrong to rank this at a 1 because you've got some Rubik's cubes and stuff. Maybe like a 1.5.
We're just trying to get it higher than
feel
you,
like-
Ben.
Yeah, I feel like it's got a little bit more personality than Ben, but
I would say a 2 or a 3 if we're going based off mine, because mine had literally nothing.
All right, we'll go for the compromise of 2.
Yeah.
So practicality, there is.
Let's see. You can do like the grip workouts, the hand workouts using those things right there. You got the cup holder, you got the camera, the audio, the amp. So I would say that's fairly practical.
It is
an
practical.
ultra-wide monitor, which is being used as 2, and a webcam.
Yeah. So yeah, there are practical elements. They've done quite well there. It's just I'm already preempting the organization score. But for practicality, 8.
I would rank it out as 7.
7? Yeah. Okay.
7. Yeah, 7 or 8. Like the extra storage is nice as well.
I'm kind of thinking a 6. Just
Oh, okay.
like there's some stuff going on here, but I also feel like I guess it being kind of a mess is more of an organization thing, but I also feel like just everything being so all over the place, kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
My
fair.
gut tells me a 6. Yeah.
And
It's
also
like
Houdini on the
compromise.
monitor. Very nice.
So Ben said 7 to 8, so I think the compromise might be something like 6.75. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Quite a detailed one. Organization, 0.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ben?
It's organization is somewhat lacking.
I feel like maybe, I don't know because I don't know them too well, but I feel like maybe they're probably like really great at organizing things digitally, but not so great in real life. Because I feel like that's something that happens. It's like a weird paradox. So what, 0, 1, 2?
0.
1.
0.5. Okay. How many more do we have? We've got quite a few. I don't know if we'll get through all of them unless we speed up a bit. So, Quackers. Not going to lie, my setup feels rather unremarkable. Lol.
Are those 2 chairs stacked on top of each other?
Let's move on. I'm kidding. Yeah, that's interesting. Is that plus or minus points for practicality?
2 chairs, twice the seating capacity? I'm not sure.
I suppose
You got
so.
the drawing tablet, the monitor, single monitor, microphone, and then headphones on a stand on the left, and then PC. I think this is a fairly good use of space because it seems like the space is somewhat
agree.
limited.
I was thinking that. Like they've done a lot with what they've got, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
So they've actually managed to maximize practicality in such a small space, which is actually really good.
Yeah.
So I actually want to give them a high score for that when we get to it in the context of where it is. I'd actually say something like 8 or 9 for practicality, just because of how
I could go that high.
Yeah, just because of how small it is, like how small the space is.
It's like efficient,
Yeah, it is. It's very vertical as well. It's not like split out among things. I don't know if you're thinking anything like that, Ben, or whether you want to knock it down, but
No, I'd agree.
style-wise, it looks like there's style that wants to be there, but it doesn't really have a space to live. So it looks like we've got a bit of RGB on the keyboard. They've chosen a blue drawing tablet.
Yeah, I like the blue drawing tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's trying to be there.
You can tell that there is a bit of style, but just very, again, fairly constrained.
Yeah. I'm thinking 6 or something.
Give it
Yeah,
a
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
5.5.
Yeah. We'll do that for a compromise. Organization-wise, again, for the amount of space, they've managed to keep some empty desk space, which is pretty good.
Yeah, cable management on the bottom is a bit messy, but again, space. So yeah, what are y'all thinking?
Again, something that
Organization, I'd probably go like a 5. I'd say it's a good like.
okay.
It's not like there's nothing like it's a small space, and you've done good with like what you've got, but also like.
So maybe a 6.5, 6 or 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chris was saying, wait, did you say 5 originally? 6 or was that?
I said like a 5. It's not like it's doing anything like terrible, but it's also not doing anything like too like,
Yeah.
I guess,
You were thinking 5.
Do we
I
count the
was
double
thinking
chairs?
6. I
notable.
don't know. I'm thinking 6. What did you think, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
5,
sounds
6.
good.
We'll go
Yeah.
somewhere 6 then. Oh, who's this one?
Oh my god.
Oh,
I
wow.
guess we can reevaluate our scoring system a little bit.
Style-wise, I don't know. To be honest, I think
Style, lots of style. Yep. Practicality, fairly practical. Multiple keyboards. Yeah.
organization, not many
very
cables.
organized.
Yeah, pretty good. I think
I
that's
feel like
actually
the score holds up. Yeah.
yeah. So technical.
Whoa,
One of the moderators on my
lighting.
Discord server
Love
again.
this.
We love tech. He also did submit a video, which I can show afterwards, which is his engineering space. But we can take a look at these first. Obviously, I think we're all struck by the lighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that the wallpapers there kind of like fit in with the lighting too. You've got like the red and blue wallpapers and the red and blue lighting.
Yeah.
Also from Avatar: The Last Airbender,
nice
which is a
touch.
plus.
Also, from the looks of it, like the bed's here, and they can turn the monitor around so they can watch
Yeah.
stuff
Oh,
in
that's
bed.
very
brilliant.
cool. I like this.
This is very good.
Wow.
Yeah, and again,
Cable management is amazing.
cleanliness,
from what we can see.
lots of organization. Oh, there's maybe a few cables there. That's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like though okay, I'm going to assume they lay here because the speakers are coming in this direction.
That's
Yeah.
wow. I haven't seen that before. That's very cool.
So that is very well thought out. You know, they've designed it around them.
They got a workspace and a cinema space at the same time.
Yeah.
Speaking about
that's very
cinema,
cool.
look at this freaking chair. It's like a cinema chair
Yeah.
in and of itself. That's good.
Okay, style. This one has quite a bit of style. I'd give it a solid 8.
Give it like a 9
Again,
in style.
Not many like trinkets and stuff, but still very like the lighting is incredible.
The lighting really does it
Yeah.
for me. I actually want to give it like a 9 point something. And just
Yeah.
just-
I can go up to like a 9, like a 9 or a 10 for
look
me.
at the
I think. It's very
backlighting.
good.
I have to like. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's very good.
I wonder if that's a window behind that part.
I think there's a window here. I don't know about behind there. Are we okay with a 9? Is that a compromise?
Yes. Yep.
Mhm.
Practicality.
Oh, did we forget to read the text?
Oh, the text. Finally got to making my pictures, also my engineering space. Now I'll show you this after because I have had a quick look at the video and it's a different space. So I figure we'll rank this one and then I'll show you it.
Yeah.
Can my picture day? So unlike the usual, I am specifically showing it at its most messy condition it has ever been. That's for the engineering space. So
Okay.
we'll get to that.
I was gonna say like
Yeah, if they think this is messy.
yeah.
Yeah. Not a speck of dust.
Practicality, I have to give like 3 points for this like monitor twist for like the bed.
Yeah, that's so
Design.
good.
Yeah.
That
Like that
was
setup,
fun.
I wish I
I'd
had
honestly give this like a 10 in practicality. Like
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of like you don't really have like a drawing tablet or anything. But also I feel like that's
that. Yeah.
It's like it
I
does.
guess
it's
not,
a-
like
It's a dual monitor setup, but one
It's-
monitor flips over.
it's
Yeah.
a dual monitor that have done really well, and it's like a versatile space. There's like a lot you can do with this for like how simple it is in terms of like the gear, and I think it gets
It's-
this is like super well done.
It's like it's designed to do exactly what it's supposed to do. Like,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I am happy with a 10 for practicality for this one.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that as well.
And organization. Now,
Organization.
I had no complaint to give other than just the cables back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
otherwise,
honestly like thinking like a 9 or a 10 for organization. It's just
Yeah.
like a very clean and well done setup, like all around with every single.
I mean, this
And you
desk
can
is
see the-
pristine. It's
You can see
brilliant.
the
Yeah.
PC there, and I'm not seeing any cables whatsoever. So I would give it a 9 simply because of the speaker cables.
Yeah. Yeah, so just
Mhm.
docking it down very slightly for that.
9.5 maybe.
Okay,
I feel like-
9.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Tech,
Like
you've
a
got a really
full
good
point
score.
for those.
Really good score.
Yeah, that
I
So
think this is my favorite one so far.
So here's the video. It's not very great quality, but this is apparently the engineering space, which is completely different from
Yeah.
the
that
bedroom.
is Wow.
That's a 3D printer. There looks like filaments there.
It looks
And
like the fan on top of the 3D printer is absolutely gigantic.
I think that's actually the
Yeah.
filament spool.
Oh,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah, it
feeding
does.
down. But yeah, it does look like a fan. Oh god, the quality. That's like a thatched chair and there's just stuff thrown everywhere. It's literally the polar opposite of the bedroom.
Yeah, like it feels wrong to like score the overall like vibes based on both of these spaces. These are like,
yeah.
like you said, they are like two different spaces.
I love the little hearts
Yeah.
though. We got like hearts in
Mhm.
between. Yeah, that's great. So
This feels like an exchange, like all of the organization in the bed space, like all of the points went into that.
I have a really bad analogy for this, but it's like going on a date and holding in a fart. Like you have the perfect place, which is the bedroom.
That is a very unique analogy.
Yeah, and this is
that from personal experience?
No, no. And this is where it's all gone. So, Tech, this has been very interesting. Thank you very much. All right. So that was really interesting. Next up, we got Solace, who is quite new to the Discord server, I believe.
I know them.
Oh, yes.
She's a friend of mine. Yeah.
They're a mutual friend. Yeah. I remember checking that. So,
I really like the lighting on the branches there.
oh, yeah. So just to clarify, we've got 3 pictures here. So here's number 1. And then I'm going to move it on. Number 2. And number 3.
A nice 2-monitor setup with a very nice looking keyboard. Lighting that complements the computer fans as well.
This keyboard, I'm wondering if it's... Because I've got a SteelSeries Apex Pro, and it's got like a very similar kind of angle and profile to it there on the side. So I wonder if it's a similar one. Yeah, that's a SteelSeries logo there. So I love this keyboard. I have to give like points for that. Stylistically, I like the coloring. I like the lighting.
Yeah.
Does seem like a little bit of a mess here, maybe, but also kind of practical in a way. Compressed air canister,
The
random
headphones,
Yeah, I think these are like LED controls.
most likely. And then that may be a fan control right next to it. Yeah.
Is this a poster that's not on the wall? I think maybe. I'm not sure.
I think that may be a calendar.
Yeah, something like that. And then I'm not sure what this is, either a vase or a diffuser or something. But I do like the kind of like the terrain contour, like desktop background as well.
Yeah.
And the mouse mat, again, Ben, you need to get on top of that.
Yes.
And I
And
believe-
that one looks very, very nice. Very polygonal.
We do like that. It's
Yeah.
kind of abstract.
I think there's a lot of stuff I like in terms of the style, but I also feel like it's not super like consistent, you know, like things are like kind of
And there's
nice
the Yoshi
on their own.
Oh, yeah, the
on
Yoshi.
the right side of the monitor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
personal stylization there. Yeah, it does
I
feel
think-
like there's just kind of stuff like scattered around a bit,
Mhm.
but there is also an attempt at style, which is great. I do actually
Yeah.
kind of like the wood on the shelf here as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's an
I would
interesting
say 7.
It's like a very cozy space. I'd say it's like a 7, yeah.
yeah, for style, yeah. And practicality, I think it's okay. Like we've got everything we need, but we don't have like in terms of like extra functional peripherals and stuff like we're seeing from other people that have.
To be fair, she did also just start learning Blender. I know that.
So we have to, with that context, will be nice then.
A different
Yeah.
theme, though. I think that's the
probably
first time
have,
we've
like,
seen a different Blender theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
slightly
I wouldn't
more
expect
blue.
her to have like a drawing tablet or anything. but-
Yes, the camera is blue and all that.
Yeah.
And a 2-monitor setup, which is always a plus.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is good. I would be comfortable here. Oh, I will say as well, I love L-shaped desks and L-shaped
Oh,
setups.
yeah.
I mean, even the way that I've kind of just manufactured one like here, like over the
Yeah.
last couple of days.
They're very good.
So I have to give extra points for that. So I'm thinking at least 7.5. 7.5? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
good.
about right.
Yeah. Are we finally getting more concise and consistent with our scoring?
We may actually have like a concrete standard now.
All right.
Which is very
Organization.
funny because most of these are subjective.
Yeah, that is very true. For organization, again, I'm just looking at a lot of things up here and things on the desk. It is pretty good, and it does look like a clean desk as well. Just if a few things were moved, you get a lot more desk space back, but not much in the way of cables. There's maybe just a couple of things around. So otherwise, it's not too bad. When we look
Each
here,
thing has their own space for the most part.
yeah.
Like it's well organized, but also I feel like there's just a lot going on, which I feel like I don't know. I'm like personally inclined to dock a few points for that. Just
Right.
because
Yeah.
there's like so much just stuff everywhere.
And there's a calendar and then a map of, is that Michigan? Or is that somewhere else in the world?
What, this thing over here?
Yeah, that looks like a map.
I mean, it might be, who knows, it might be some kind of sci-fi thing.
Get doxxed.
For organization, maybe what, 6?
Yeah, I'd say
yeah.
6 is fair.
All right. Next up, Mel. All right. So this is one of the lowest quality pictures I've got. Mel.
the camera flash really ties it together.
I know. Oh man. And the one
Ben,
shoe.
we might have, I'm almost thinking, Ben, we might have someone with a lower style score than you. Like,
well, okay.
Maybe
the
the keyboard.
Okay, one slipper is the one slipper and all that. Like mine has no personality whatsoever. This one has a bit of personality to it.
See, but this is why I said we need like separate scoring for style and personality, because
yeah.
And there's a camera stand with a camera on it, and attached to that is the microphone stand.
If
it has personality, but I can't, like, in good conscience say that this has style.
What is this? Is this like a...
That's a shelf without the shelves.
Without the shelves.
Like insane.
This is mad. Absolutely.
I can maybe go up to 1 point on style.
Maybe we could go negative for the first time. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, maybe. Oh, I don't know about style. I'm inclined to give 0 for style, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
same.
What are you thinking, Ben?
I'll say a 1 because the camera and microphone stand tells a story.
I'll go like 0.5.
We'll compromise.
There's environmental storytelling here.
Mel, thank you for contributing. Practicality. Well, there's a shoe.
The shoes are practical. Yep. You got the headphones. You got the mouse and keyboard. 1 monitor setup, which you have to talk a little bit for that.
I feel like you also just don't get a lot of mouse space with this. Like your keyboard is halfway off your...
Yeah, given the fact that the mat
I
is
even
hanging...
call this the desk.
The mat is hanging off the edge. Like, that's...
And then the camera and microphone setup does work if you're recording a video.
Free?
Yeah.
No, it has to be more than 5, because we were saying, look, if you've got a monitor and a keyboard, then that should be 5.
See, this makes me curious about what it looks like from like the camera's angle, right? Like, because surely...
But are we? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. Actually,
like if you're recording if you're recording yourself in a space like this, then like surely you've got a camera angle where it looks passable. You know.
I know I said start at 5, but I think we are like docking points for whatever the hell is going on here. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like a 3 or a 4 internally for practicality, but
like
I'd say 4 for the camera and mic combo for it to go into the average.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
say 3. We could go like 3.5.
3.5.
Like, yeah. Organization, I have to give a 0. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I'm inclined to go the same way. There's no attempt to hide the cables anywhere. Is that a Pepsi bottle? Yeah.
I'll have to agree.
Yeah. That might be our lowest scoring one yet. That's an achievement in and of itself. Well done, Mel.
Yeah, good job. Well done.
All right. Innocent Joker. Now they've shared like some car models with me, and I think this shines through because there is also a video. This time I will show you the video beforehand because it's part of the setup. But we'll take a look at the image first. Interesting.
2 monitors setup with a very RGB PC case. Lots of drawings on the wall, which is nice. A nice keyboard, a nice mouse pad. Sorry.
Yeah, it's good.
And then is that PSP on the side?
Yes, that is. Yeah, white one.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's cool. Second image here is more of a close-up of the computer. And is that the IKEA shark? I forgot his name.
Yeah, Blahai.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's one of the more recent Xbox controllers, which is nice. I like Xbox. It looks like we got a custom
different
theme.
Blender theme. Yeah.
Yeah, custom one. We got like pink elements in there, which is great.
The normals on that model are inverted on the middle one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the mat cap is...
Oh, maybe it's
Make sure
interior
you check
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe it's interior. All right, so here's the video, and it's a vertical aspect. Oh, you can tell they love car stuff. Lovely. I like the attention to putting like a video there running. So that's the desk setup. Got more details on the shelf. Yeah, and holy shit!
Wow, a lot of cars, but organized cars, and a very nice collection.
Yeah,
Swedish flag.
That's amazing. That must have cost some money. Yeah, even like smaller ones as well. And that looks like
another
a PSP case down there.
That's an Idaho license plate?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I like this. Wow. So there's a lot of interest like shining through here.
And thank you for showing such a wide range to your space here.
Yeah.
Yeah, before just looking at the desk setup, I wasn't going to rank it like too high with style, just because I feel like other than maybe like the mouse pad and some pictures on the wall, there's not like, I mean, there's like the shelf up there, but there wasn't like a whole lot going on. But like seeing the whole space, like seeing the shelf up there more and like behind the chair and all this, I
Yeah.
definitely give it like way more points for style now.
Yeah.
So
A lot of effort's
And on
gone
the
into
shelf,
that.
on this shelf you also have
Very
a
good.
Minecraft chest and a little big planet guy, which is points. Yeah, right there. Yeah, next to the license plate and what I'm assuming is a car grill.
Yeah. God, interesting. So yeah, I mean, let's try this. Style, practicality, organization. So given all the car wall and stuff, that really
Very
kind of shakes
strong
things
on-
up.
give it like an 8 or 9. It's very fun.
Yeah, I'd say a 9.
Okay, I was thinking 8, so I'll go 8.75 because you're both on the 9, so that's pretty good. Practicality, they do have a lot of stuff laying around that is useful, but again, it's also very personalized. Cute little clock, got PSP. Not entirely sure what that is, but I think that's a preamp. Controller.
Very practical. And the water
2.
bottle. I think that's the first we've seen a water bottle in next to a setup.
No, I think I've seen...
We've seen a couple, like Quackers had a water bottle as well.
Ah,
I'm not sure if they actually had water in them, but yeah, they were definitely there. Hidden speaker, 2
very
monitors,
nice.
8,
Yeah, very
7,
nice. And
8.5, 7, 8, not sure.
yeah, I'd say an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say an 8 is pretty good.
Now, organization-wise, it is a bit, I mean, random things hanging around shelf, maybe not as organized as it could be. It's obviously been personalized and displayed just for them because it's their bedroom, but I feel like there
Very
could be
well
improvements.
it's very compartmentalized with the personality items. Though the
Yeah.
cable management is a little bit like some cables are going over the desk and stuff like that.
Yeah, even in the computer, it feels like this could be done a bit better. We've got like some of the power just randomly scattered. So I'm thinking 5, 6.
6, yeah, I was thinking 6.
Maybe 6.5.
Okay. All right. We'll do that for you, Ben. Now, this next one is interesting. MrRabbitHole. So obviously we've got a very prominent actor in these pictures. As the official co-worker of this space, my responsibilities include keyboard testing for durability and comfort, monitor gazing to ensure proper alignment and symmetry, desk inspection for any missed crumbs, and enforcing regular cuddle breaks because deadlines don't matter when it's Betty Rubbo clock.
That's
So
very fun. Love
yeah,
the cat.
Very nice lighting. The cat's colors like merge very well into that.
yeah. Now
You got the keyboard with a separated number pad. At least I'm assuming that's a number pad.
yes,
I
it
like
is.
this. It's got a nice style to it. It's
And
very
then-
coherent. You've got like the white and black peripherals all around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do like it. The only thing that lets this down, because otherwise it's extremely good, is this
Yeah.
unfortunately being placed there.
Yeah. Which I don't think they can move that.
No.
So the symmetrical monitors is extremely nice.
Yeah.
Are those two? Okay, so they have speakers, two
Two
speakers
speakers.
there, and headphones.
So you could solve that by getting a monitor arm and just slapping a 4th monitor on top.
Otherwise, like I love the consistent desktop backgrounds. I love that
Yeah,
they're all the
I
same
like that.
size, like either side. The stands are very neat and clean.
A nice hexagon background, which I enjoy.
Yeah. Hex scatter, get it now. Anyway, yeah, style-wise, I want to give this really high just because it's been designed. There's not a
I like
lot there, but
Yeah, I like the warm lighting as well. The warm lighting with like the white peripherals and stuff is very just like cozy, I feel.
Yeah, and also the photography is very well done of the subject there.
Yes. Very, very
Yes. The main occupant of this setup.
good. Do we give practicality points for the blanket for the cat? Like
Yes. Yes.
Are cats a plus or a minus in terms of practicality?
Are
Because I
those-
feel efficiency.
Are those cat ears on a mug or something? as
That
well?
may be a plant.
It
I'm
might
not
be.
sure.
Yeah, interesting. So, what are we thinking? Style?
I'd say 8.
8 or
Yeah.
9. I think it's very good.
8.5.
Yeah.
Practicality. Now, the monitors carry it up. I suppose this carries it up, but then again, you could have gotten a keyboard that already had it on. So, is it an extra point, or does it just balance out? I don't know.
I'd say it balances out because, style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got the
You got-
headset, speakers,
Yeah.
mouse mat. It's not too high because it's not like a lot of extra functionality. But I'm thinking like 7.
Yeah, I think a 7 is good.
I'll say 8 for the 3 monitor setup.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. The triple monitor setup is very nice.
Okay. We'll compromise.
Mhm.
Organization, though, I think should be quite good, but I am seeing just a very small amount of cable.
2 cables there, but very, very clean.
Yeah, I'd give it like
And
a
a
9,
very big
honestly.
mouse pad.
What
It's
if
very
what if they were very creative and the cat is literally laying on on the cable?
all of the cable. That's what the blanket is there for. It's not for the cat. It's to hide the cable management.
Yeah.
Now, does the cat push things around?
I don't know. Look at that paw. I think that's a pushing paw right there.
Yeah. Maybe that docked a point off of the practicality score.
Really?
Your monitors may fall down at any time.
Well, like they said, they're the coworker of the space.
True.
So
what do we
I'd
do
say
for other organization?
cat is this is the cat's setup here.
8.5 maybe for organization.
Yeah.
Though we
It's
aren't
good.
seeing the PC or the cables going to the PC.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I think like for what we can say, like an 8.5 is good though.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we don't. Oh, we've got one more. So we're coming to the end now. I cannot pronounce the name. I think the last one might be Bharadwaj or something like that. So excuse me, my very British pronunciation ways. But this is quite different to what we've seen.
Yeah.
We've got more of like a vertical height room from the look of it. And it's a mix of a workshop type computer setup as well. So this kind of reminds me of Lonnon Foster a little bit in the way that we've got a lot going on. So
I'm assuming that's a 3D printer with lots of different spools on the side.
yeah, so we've got the filament spool there coming down. And yes, I imagine that is. So this is the pure desk. I see small keyboard there. We've got weights, very health conscious, an amp. And a guitar or bass. Don't at me. I don't know which is which.
A 2-monitor vertical setup, which I think is the first we've seen.
Hell
on a
yeah.
laptop.
And yeah, not bad.
I think maybe 2, if you count like that. There may be a laptop and then the headphones on top of that, but I'm not
I like
sure.
a lot of the verticality in the whole setup. I feel like with like style, I would compare it pretty similarly to the other like functional spaces like yours, Curtis, that we saw before. And there's another one.
Yeah,
was it Jean? No, not Jean. Jean was the
Lonnon.
Patrick one. Yeah.
Yeah, Lonnon Foster.
I feel like I would give this more style points if the room had better lighting. I feel like the lighting
Right.
is really
hurting
the presentation.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. And what the hell is this?
The chair, yeah.
A very
The
unique chair.
So I'm just thinking about like back and neck pain, and even just arse pain from sitting in the plastic chair for hours on end. So it kind of, because it looks like this is like a proper setup that I would be sitting at for hours, but this doesn't really inspire confidence for sitting there for hours. But what I do love is this. So we've got like a work mat, we've got the solder, relatively organized into our different bins. Really, really good.
Having this just as part of the desk is like so fun. Like
yeah. And again, it's kind of like an L-shaped desk. Always loved that. And elsewhere here, I suppose this kind of takes up a bunch of the organization as well. So this stuff doesn't have to be put on the desk. So it is practical in that way.
A very practical space.
Yeah.
And another guitar.
Yeah. And or bass.
And or bass, yes. Of course.
There are so many like musicians in the community that we're gonna get slated for getting it wrong, but
we apologize in advance.
Yeah, it is what it is. So style, practicality, organization has to be high.
I think. Oh, you go.
I was gonna say it would have to be high for practicality, but
yes, a very useful, practical space. Like the 3D printer is one thing. You got your I forget what that space is. Is it like a soldering or like tech-based space?
What over here?
And then there's like the weight space. Yeah, that area.
Yeah, I suppose it's in part soldering because that's the iron there.
Yeah.
It may just be like a tinkering. That's a vice here. Multi-purpose, I would say.
Yeah, I like this.
But
in terms of
extremely practical.
I'm just going to have a look back at Lonnon and mine. Oh, Lonnon was 7.5 for style, 10 for practicality, 5.5 for organization.
Yeah. So this one has a weight set as well and multiple guitars. So
I'm fine to go
we'll have
high for practicality. Like, I don't mind going 10. Or...
Practicality, I'd say like it's a 10. In terms of style, it's like a 5 or 6 for me though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest...
I was going to say, organization I feel like is going to be pretty high because I feel like in terms of cable management, there's not like anything that was like notably bad,
Yeah, that's true. You can see...
I feel like this room you can do the most in, the most variety.
it's clear where everything should be, relatively speaking. Like, it's very obvious where if you've got 3D printing stuff, this is where it's going to go, this cabinet. If you've got like tinkering or electronic stuff, this is where it's going to go. If you've got paperwork, it's over here, stuff like that. So it is organized. I'm thinking 8.5, 9, something like that. But
Yeah, just a tad
like a 9.
cluttered on that shelf.
you okay with a 9?
Yeah.
Style,
though, what we thinking? Something low?
A 5 or a 6.
Right.
The music parts do give a bit of personality.
Yeah, a little
So,
bit. I'm okay with 5, I think.
5.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Like even the workspace has a bit of personality to it with the 3D printing and the soldering and all that.
yeah, it does. So all that's left now is to go back and figure out who wins each category. There are
there's a winner?
There are no prizes, but
Okay.
but basically someone or a few people have got the highest in each category, and we've got to find out.
We've got 3 people with practicality. We know that already.
Yeah, that's true. All right, hi, it's Editing Curtis now without Ben and Kris. So like I said, some of the footage had been lost because the encoding wasn't right. So what you've missed out on is we went back and had a look at a few of the things we had rated and made some slight point adjustments. In particular, I think the main one was tech moving from a 9 to a 10 on style. So in the end, we put out a list here of the ones with the highest points for the style, practicality, and organization. So tech basically came out in the lead with his entry. And then we've also got the guy with the bagels here, which I think was a 9.25. So really tech came out on top, but we wanted to include this one because it just looks so good and we were so impressed with it. Practicality, mine, Lonnon, and Bharadwaj's. Again, assuming that I'm pronouncing things relatively correctly. And I think the interesting thing here is that, these are all pretty much like workshop entries. So I guess it's no surprise really that they're coming out on top of practicality. And then finally for organization, I think at the end of the point adjustments, both Tech and White Rooster were tying for organization just because of how clean their setups were and how well thought out the layout was. And then for an honorable mention, we had to throw Mel in somewhere. We don't have a category, but it was just awful. Awful in perhaps the best way possible. So we couldn't close it up without giving a special mention. So hopefully you found that inspiring. And again, maybe we'll do this again. It depends if people watched it. I know this is a very long video. Trust me, it's been a pain to re-record the screen. But if you made it this far, let me know. And if we do it again in the future, and if people happen to hate it on this channel, then I'll just move it onto a different channel. But yeah, it's been fun having a look at everyone's own little pockets of life and how Blender kind of fits into that as well. I like seeing the personalization throughout the process. So thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you next time.